countdown because I don't know when it kicks on or when it doesn't. I just assume, yeah, here we go. So check it out. When I put this up as how to pay for sex, I want to talk about something that kind of came up yesterday, and I don't know if anybody got to watch the video that we did yesterday. We meaning some of the people on my channel, and I had Nicole Michelle on, and later on in the game, Tony Maceo popped up. I don't know how many of you people have the fortune or misfortune of having him go in on. So you guys know Tony Maceo, right?
Yeah, I know Maceo.
I'm not too familiar with him,
Tony
but
Maceo, that man Tony Maceo is a handful. I tell you what.
yeah.
So here's where it came down to. We ended up talking to this young woman who asked us for our advice on a situation she was in with a man who she's not necessarily attracted to, but is definitely taking presents from and having sex with. And she's playing musical chairs because she's at that ripe age of 22 where she doesn't know that that's going to end one day. And matter of fact, let me show you guys for anybody who wants to go back later to check this out. Um, Here is where it was. It was Nicole Michelle shows how femininity interacted with my Mile High Club experience. Definitely go back and check this one out with Nicole Michelle. Okay? So here's something that I have been thinking about for quite a while, and it really, really popped in my brain. That I really believe. Let me back up for a second, Kyle. Tell them what you said. The older woman said to you when you were a young man.
She told me, and this is when I was working in this mental hospital, and I wasn't a patient; I was just working there. I was I was in the kitchen, and she was one of the chefs, and she told me straight up, she was like, "Do you got a girlfriend?" And I was like, "No." I said, "All these girls just, I said, all these girls, some of them are just looking for money. I'm trying to this and the third." I was like, I'm just trying to find the one, and she just told me straight up, she was like, "Look at here. I'm just gonna keep it real with you." She's like, "You gonna pay for it one way or another." He said, "The only thing you gotta determine is how much you gonna pay." And he's like, "That's gonna be your game, or the way you talk to a woman's gonna determine how much you pay." So she's like, "I'm gonna break this down to you." She was like, "Did you buy this woman a movie ticket to go to the movies?" And I said, "Yeah." She was like, "Well, you paid for it." She's like, "Did you buy this woman dinner?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "You paid for it." She's like, "Did you buy her drinks?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "You paid for it." So technically, she told me straight up, like, you are paying for it no matter what.
And that's one way. That's one way that men
That,
pay for sex. But I've devised that there are four main ways.
yeah.
And before I even go into that, before I start digging, I want to say, does everybody know Ed Lattimore? Because he's a guest, but I always tell people, don't watch his Twitter feed while you're drinking your morning tea, or you'll spit all over your keyboard. Because this dude, I want everybody right now to go and subscribe to Ed Lattimore on his Twitter feed. It's some really, don't let your
Yeah.
children see this because he talks about crack cocaine like it was peppermint candy.
Man, I'm just having fun, man. That's what I grew up around, So like, you gotta take the bad and turn it into something funny, man. You gotta make people laugh. That's how I cope with it. So between that and the crack and the black coffee jokes, man. Clearly, I didn't get to like 91,000 people caring what I say, just by making crack and black coffee cracks. But what I really try to do is just give people value, man. Make people laugh, make people learn, and have a good time. And you know what? It pay not it pays because Twitter doesn't pay me a thing, but it really is worked out well for me, I would say, and I have a good time.
Just so people don't think I'm bagging on you, this man is a physicist, a chess coach in chess. Would I call you a chess professional?
No, I don't get paid to play chess. I'm a very strong. I'm not even like at the strength that they consider you to be like a weak pro. I'm just a really
Because
competitive
he
player, and
lives
I'm
that
working
chess
up, yo.
lifestyle. And he's an author. He has some amazing books out there. I want you guys to check him out. But here we go. Now, reigning woman. Tell them who you are and what makes you awesome.
Hey, what makes me awesome is I think I'm awesome. If nobody else thinks I'm awesome, I am freaking amazing. I am amazed box because I think that's what makes me awesome. But I'm Rainin Woman. My channel is basically it's inspiration, it's entertainment, and real talk. It's really, Rainin Woman is about taking the path to your higher self. Self mastery in every area of your life, knowing that it is a journey, but taking full responsibility for your life and your choices.
Awesome. And I want everybody, and listen, I'm doing great on YouTube, and I'm always, telling people I don't do this for money, but I want everybody to check out my friends because I have a lot of great people that come and say hello. We got a new face in the crowd today. Nikki, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. I can't see you. Turn on your camera. You don't get to hide.
I'm not hiding. Who's hiding?
She's
No,
hiding.
y'all
No,
go.
no, 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 no. We don't play that game in my house.
Hi,
No, we did
Crystal.
not play
I'm
that.
a pretty. I'm a
All right,
Come
all right,
on,
we
turn
gonna.
on the camera. We want
picture.
to see your smile.
Come on, gorgeous.
All right,
And
we
by the
gonna.
way, while she's doing that, I'm going to show you her page. She has some real interesting things to say on Nikki Speak. And I hope everybody gets the chance. By the way, have you been on anyone's chat before, Nick? Have you had the chance to do this?
Yes, I've been on the code chat a few times.
Oh, okay. Are you seriously not gonna come out from behind your avatar?
I really don't, guys. I'm at work. I really.
Please, just give us a little
I,
while with your face because it makes it easier for people to engage. That's the
I
problem.
I don't look presentable. This is work.
I
Uh,
don't look
Guys.
presentable. I didn't even get to shave before I came on.
oh, me
Look at how
either.
nasty my mustache is.
That was not the same thing.
Right, that's so not the same thing.
Uh,
And y'all,
uh,
and men don't care about their appearance as much.
They really don't.
Wow.
They will be
well, we don't.
no.
We don't.
No,
Okay, well,
Yes, we do. Why we in the
let me
gym all the time? We do care
men,
about our appearance.
Not
men's
We ain't in the
not.
gym for no
and
reason.
we're not.
for being online though.
No, not saying like that. Y'all don't care about your appearance in that way. Yeah, y'all hit the gym, but men are trifling in certain ways.
Well, everybody
Listen,
trifling in their
anybody's
own
gonna say
way.
something needs to be aired one way or the other. You might as well look them in the eye while you
One day
say
I
it.
learned everybody trifling in their own way. So you just gotta embrace it sometimes. You gotta embrace the curls and the naps and all your
That
insecurities.
better.
You
Y'all get this.
alright. You straight. You look better than all of us right here. Come on now,
Thank you.
I do not.
You,
girl. You look
I
better than
why
all
did
of us. Your
you
hair
have me
all nice
thinking
and
you were
done.
standing there in bunny slippers?
I'm thinking that you got rolls in your hair or
Well,
something, girl.
well, listen,
You got
I
some of those
know
roll
she's out there.
Oh, you gonna
Well, we
turn off
done
the
seen
camera.
you now. You might as well leave the camera on. We done
Y'all
seen you
straight.
now.
Both of
It's not
y'all
like you
straight.
have
Y'all
any
all
place to
right.
go. Stop looking that way.
Y'all both
Y'all.
y'all straight. All right, let's get
So
started though. Let's get
here's
started.
no, I'm putting the camera back on. It's not like we can't see you. So here's where I am though. I want to give you guys what I believe, and I want some pushback. I want to talk about the 4 ways that men pay for sex. And, you know, L. John, Kyle, one of the things that he said is he had an older woman talk to him once, and one of the things that she told him is if you're buying movie tickets, yeah, you're paying for it. If you buy dinner, yeah, you're paying for it. But I've also deduced that there are other ways, and this is something I really want to go one by one and get through on. I think there are 4 ways, and I think money is arguably the easiest way. But I
Hmm.
also think that's low hanging fruit unless you're a woman who doesn't really have other options. And if you don't, that's fine. I have no problem. It's the oldest transaction in the history book. That's okay if it's what they want. But I also believe that men have other ways that the most successful men have devised to pay for sex that aren't money. And the first one I want to go down the list on is wisdom. This especially is true for men who are dating women significantly younger than I am, or that you are. Wisdom is the ability to give a woman the benefit of a breadth and scope of life experience through your success that can show her the answers to problems that are popping up in her world that are mystifying to a 30-year-old man, but to a grizzly 42-year-old, 43-year-old man like me, or whatever you are, Ed, or whatever you are, Kyle, we can see that ball coming a mile off and give her wisdom that is going to allow her to walk into that situation and look like a hero. Like nobody will even be able to understand what happened to her, how she got so smart so fast. So
Wisdom or
thoughts on that?
therapist? Wisdom or therapy? Because I've been a few women's therapists a few times. Like, I mean, I do agree. Yes, I think personally that form of payment will probably keep a woman longer than anything.
Yep.
Because personally, I find, especially most successful women, if you can help them through their problems, they will stay glued to you. I don't know how many times I've been women's therapists and I have pointed out like, I pointed out like, okay, I told this one guy, like, you know what, you keep talking. I was like, I'm noticing some insecurity with you. I like, what's going on with this insecurity? I like, there's no reason for you to be insecure, because she was insecure about her hair being curly and stuff. I'm like, that is your natural hair. That's what God given you. Okay, so you should not be insecure about your hair. All right, I like, having straight hair does not make you beautiful. I was like, what makes you beautiful is your own natural self, and this is what men appreciate the most: is you to be natural. I like, look, I have dated bald-headed women. I have dated women with afros. I have dated women with straight hair. I prefer to either date a bald-headed woman or a woman with an afro. I like, that is her. I want to see the real. So one thing I noticed, if you can help women through their insecurities, they will stay glued and attached to you much longer than a woman that you just give money to. So a lot of times, I think men a lot of times don't want to work through those insecurities with them, or they feel like, it's a headache to deal with. I like, a lot of times it's not a headache to deal with, because sometimes they can work you through your insecurities too. Because men have insecurities too. Because I see plenty of men, they're very insecure about themselves, but they hide it through their aggression.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm like, this, to me, that form of payment to me is probably the best form of payment that a man or a woman can receive, because it can really help you focus on what's really important in life. Because a lot of times those insecurities can really damage a person to the point where it could damage their whole life. So, I mean, wisdom is probably the best payment you could get to anybody, and it's probably the payment that will keep a woman the longest, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, like, if you can be a woman's therapist, not all the time, but sometimes, you can always, I feel like you keep a woman longer than you giving them money, because giving them money, that's only that's only a short-term transaction. Giving them dinner, that's only a short-term transaction. That's a short-term transaction, in my opinion. She can find dinner from any man. Let's keep it real. Most men in this world will go out and pay for dinner in a heartbeat, but a lot of men will not be a person's therapist, or many men will not be a person's give women wisdom. Many men do not want women to know what they think, because they feel
There's
that.
something to be said for that, though. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah,
There's something to be said.
it
Nikki,
is.
did you walk away just to go get the right earrings to put on?
Yes. I noticed that I didn't have. I noticed that I was missing an earring. I don't know how I didn't put that on.
So give me your thoughts on that first, or rather that second way that men look at women and use that as the way they pay for that sex with women.
Me?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yes.
You know what? I think that is absolutely correct. Because first of all, I believe that women should be submissive to the men in their lives, right? Number one. And no better way to submit than to first be able to trust and respect you. Displaying your wisdom allows me to begin to feel that secure, that respect in order to trust you. If
Say
you
that
don't,
again. Say it again for people in the back. Repeat that sentence.
sharing your wisdom gives me that space and that awareness for me to be able to respect and trust and honor you and trust you. If I can't respect you and feel comfortable with your wisdom, why would I submit to you?
For
I
the
mean,
men in the back row who are going to send me a bunch of email questions talking about how do I get my woman to submit to me? If you aren't a man worth submitting to, it doesn't work. There is no magic. There is no secret.
exactly, exactly. Just because you have a piece, just because you have a centerpiece, I'm being respectful. Just because you know what I'm saying. Just because you are a male does not warrant me to submit to you.
Amen.
It doesn't. You have to, if you, I'm like, if you can't teach me something, how can I respect you to even prepare me?
Mm.
In
Amen.
any relationship, if you can't make my life a better, that's what it has to be. I can only submit to you if submitting to you makes my life better.
I agree.
People don't get it. Ed, give them some wisdom that does not involve crack cocaine.
Nah,
That's one hell of a drug. I saw that. That's something.
so I don't know like I don't know the other points you're gonna make later, but I feel like they're all gonna come back to this idea of respect, and it's a lot easier. The less a woman respects you, the more you're gonna have to put out. The more you're gonna have to pay for it directly with something, like whether it be a movie ticket or just our dinner or paying some bills or whatever. The more you're respected, the easier your life is going to be, or the less bread you're going to have to actually break. And I think displaying your wisdom, uh, certainly not just through what you say, but also in your lifestyle. When people look and go, okay, this is clearly somebody that's doing a thing correctly. What can I learn from them? What can I pick up? And if you get a young girl that sees you doing that and wants to learn from you, I mean, I think respect is probably the strongest aphrodisiac. Certainly, there is nothing. There's no downside to having a woman respect you, but the difference, but what guys don't understand is like we were saying before the show came on, related to, is there any place where you can go and just be the man? No, you
No.
have to. Your life ends up being the kind of, I guess, billboard or advertisement for the work that you've done,
Mm.
and that is what garners and generates that respect.
You
Look, man,
said
I
your
might.
life is a billboard for the work you have done.
Oh, for sure.
Amen.
Like let's I could have, let's put it like this, like a crackhead can have all the wisdom in in the world for you, right? Like he could have the secret to you making millions. But why would you sit there and give up even 5 minutes of your day to sit there and listen to a crackhead? You're like, bro, clearly something's not right. Either this wisdom is nonsense, or
Well,
you
you didn't
can't
use it.
deliver. Yeah, like so. Why would I listen to you? On the other hand, I could be telling you some straight nonsense, but if you look at the things that I've done, you're gonna be like, okay, it sounds kind of fishy, but clearly his life is on point, so maybe there's something to it. So
Mm.
at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I have no idea what other points you're gonna go. Like, I haven't seen the trick before it's gonna be unveiled, but I have a sneaky suspicion that a lot of them are gonna be derivatives or subsets of respect, and that wisdom is one of the biggest parts of it. I really believe that. Especially as like, cause
Mm.
I think you said what, you're 42. Why
I'll be 43 next year. Yep.
43?
And I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to tell you, nobody believes me. I have to show them my ID.
So I'm 34, man, and like I'm starting to see just how much like you don't realize how ahead you are until you kind of look at people who are not there.
Yeah.
And,
I'm 36, so
and you go,
and,
wow, right? You. I mean, how many
yeah,
other 36-year-old men living the life you live? Not many.
not a
Mm.
lot,
Mm.
not a lot. And it surprised me, but I was just like, when I tell them my life, they're like, "Oh, damn, your life is wonderful. You've been everywhere. You got your own
Right.
place. You got your own car." They're like, they kind of look at me. They be like, "What did I do wrong?" I'm like, "You didn't do nothing wrong."
Well, hold on.
I
Watch this.
just,
Watch this. Nikki, before we get to Nikki's opinion, I want everybody, every time you see reigning woman turn off the screen to take a sip of her coffee, I want you to say in the comments, it's okay to drink your coffee on screen. Because she has this phobia of people seeing her drink while she's talking.
Oh,
So
I didn't
she'll
even see
peel off
that.
to the side, she'll peel off and get her cup and come back.
It's
So
okay to sip your coffee.
Yeah, I drink my
whenever y'all see
tea.
her, yeah. All right. So to our phantom friend hiding behind her avatar and a mute button, tell me what you've been thinking. This is your first time on the team. How do you feel about what we've been saying?
I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. I mean, a woman being able to respect a man is a lot, you know. I what did you say? I can't hear you. Did somebody say something?
Wait, we have to
No.
forgive her because she's on the job right now. So she's actually hiding off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hiding. To me,
But I
I
believe
mean,
here's the thing. For young women especially, do you really see that women are aware of that? Do you see that women look at men and say, wait a minute, this guy is someone I can open my heart and legs for because he has wisdom to share. Are women aware of that in your opinion? Or do you think that's something that they just kind of do it without thinking instinctually?
I mean, I can't speak for other women, but I can speak for myself. I'm aware of that. I'm conscious of that. And me being younger, because I'm assuming I'm younger than everybody on here. Because how you said you're 43, right? So you guys are in your 30s, 40s. I'm only 25, so I'm conscious of that. But what he was saying about the insecurities part, I think a lot of women need to learn to deal with that themselves. You have to learn to nurture your own insecurities because a lot of times if you bring that into a relationship, that can destroy a relationship. You know, it's good to have a man there to help you get through those things, but as a woman, that's something that you have to face for yourself first, you know.
Wait,
Um,
say that again. Say that again. Wait, hold on. Say
Women,
that.
when he was saying about a man being able to, help a woman cope with her insecurities, that's something a woman should do herself first before even entering a relationship because a lot of the times when you have certain insecurities about our hair or whatever the case it is, that can destroy a relationship depending on how deep rooted it is.
I find if it can, but sometimes I also find that some women need reassurance with certain things because I have women tell me all the time, like especially when it comes to the hair, okay? Because I'm a big stickler of black women wearing their hair naturally because I want them to do that because it's what I grew up on. A lot of black women feel like a black man would not like this. And then sometimes I feel like as a black man, you have to reassure them that, yes, I do like this. I do like you wearing your hair naturally. I think it's beautiful. And sometimes that reassurance gives them the confidence to do it. Now, I mean, I think everybody, man and woman, need to work out their insecurities before entering into a relationship, or at least, be comfortable in their own skin. Because even with myself, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you will bring that into that relationship and you will drive that person completely crazy. I mean, I've been on both sides where I drove somebody crazy and somebody drove me crazy, and I think that was just God giving me my karma back. Like, well, you drove this person crazy, so I'm gonna send you somebody that's gonna drive you crazy. So, and after going through that, I said, okay, I need to work out myself, and I think that's one of the aspects that I'm saying here that is a form of payment of you being their therapist. Now, I don't think you need to be their therapist 24/7, but sometimes you need to work out something. You have to work through stuff with them because they may just need reassurance that what I'm doing is right, how I'm feeling is right. Because sometimes, especially as being black in this country and in the world, they'll tell you that you're doing certain things wrong, and sometimes you just need that reassurance that you're not doing it wrong. You're doing it right. It's just that they saying that you're doing it wrong because they want something out of you. And if you did it this way, then they got something out of you. But if you did it your way, they're not going to get something out of you. So, that's sometimes just being black in this world, and I'm not just talking about the USA, I'm talking about worldwide.
Okay.
Sometimes being black in this world, you do need reassurance from your mate.
Well, let me back up for a second. If we're going to cover those two, and I think Brother Ed Lattimore saw the writing on the wall a little bit, because I think that a lot of what we're doing is going to keep pointing us perhaps down that same road. But Ed, I want to go to number three, because we talked about cash being firstly meant to expect. Second is the input that you share with a woman. But now the third one, this is one that it took me a while to really pin down and identify, which might be the corollary of wisdom, and that's knowledge. Because the difference
Mm,
between wisdom and knowledge is wisdom is abstract, whereas knowledge is, it could be, I'm with this man, and I've learned over time that he gives me insider information on something as simple as, oh, when you get your bonus this year for your company, put it in this type of investment, because I know that over the next 6 months I should perform this way. And she says, wait, that's pure unadulterated knowledge that's helping me prepare for my future. It could be the knowledge that he has of the technical aspects of the way a house works, or the way a world works, or the way processes work. That she can look at and
or
say, I can call this man, and he is a rolling encyclopedia of clear, distinct information on an issue that might have a simple but technical answer. And I kind of
yes,
see a market for that from there.
yes, or you could just have knowledge in an area that she doesn't know. It could be something like an auto mechanic. Now, some people, the average person, don't know too much about a car, so you know, she could easily call you up and say, "Well, can you come over here and change my brakes?" And she may be
You got
thankful
to be
for that
careful for that.
knowledge.
You got to be careful for that. You got to be careful with that.
You gotta be careful with that. You gotta be careful with all knowledge you give out, but
Yeah,
you gotta be
but now
careful with
it's
all
not the
payment that you
knowledge.
give out. But I mean, sometimes you just may know a certain thing, and she may not see things the way you see it. And sometimes I guess this is the reason why I like speaking to people across the world, because they see the world different than I see it. Because I grew up in America and I see the world a certain way. But somebody that grew up in like Brazil or Japan or Europe, they're gonna see the world totally different the way I see it. So they have given me knowledge, and I have given them knowledge in ways that they have not known. Like, I learned being around the world, racism, classism, and all this stuff is much different when you go place to place. It's not the same as America. So they have given me knowledge in that, and I have given them knowledge in things that we have done in America. And those knowledge, we both took it and went somewhere with it. So I think as far as that aspect is that the knowledge that you may pick up during your lifetime could help somebody grow, and it could make them more
Well, hold on,
submissive.
wait, hold on. Let me check something real quick, because I think Raining Woman just said, well, she said two things. She said someone may have some feedback on their microphone, so I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. So can you read that to us? What you just wrote in the comment, can you read that to us?
Self-esteem should be worked on constantly, whether you're in a relationship or not.
I agree.
And if I may expound on that a little bit further, I believe it was Ed that mentioned helping someone feel better about themselves in a relationship, about their hair and things like that.
That
My
is me.
That was him.
my thing is this, right? If you can't accept me for who I am in my natural state, and I say this for other people too. If someone cannot accept you for who you are in your natural state, why would you want to be in a romantic relationship with them? Because see, who I am naturally is who I am. That is what I'm building on every day. That is my foundation. If I apply, as a woman, if I apply makeup, if I straighten my hair, don't straighten my hair, if I'm dressed up or dressed down, is all of that is irrelevant. Who I am in my natural state of being is who you need to accept first and foremost. If you cannot accept that first and foremost, there should not be. It'd be too easy for you to tear me down, number one. Too easy for anyone to tear me down. That's not fair to me, and it's not fair to you.
I
Well, the
hope.
one thing, the one thing I do want to get some pushback on is you can't say that acceptance. I'm not saying that we have to be neurotic, but we can't say accept us no matter what state we're in. That doesn't work. We have to understand that part of that self improvement is accepting yourself, but also understanding there's a standard that has to be met for people to treat you a certain
Right.
way.
Yeah,
It's not just wild, wild west out there.
yeah,
Right.
and you also got to understand that the media a lot of time, and this is for both men and women, they a lot of time put this standard on somebody, and they want everybody to follow that standard. And it's like, let's be real, we all can't follow the standard. Um, they expect every man to be about 6'3" and very muscular. A lot of times, and not every man is 6'3", and not every man is very muscular. So, and this is what they expect, or they expect every woman to look like a top model. Not every woman is a top model.
Mm.
So, this is why I say sometimes you do need to coach people through this stuff,
Well,
because the media does
I
it to
know that
you.
Nikki, hidden Nikki of the
It's
hidden circle,
me. It's
we'll
me.
call her.
It's just me.
Let's say this: you are uniquely qualified to talk about self-esteem and presentation because of some of the videos you posted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. About self-esteem. I agree with Rain and Woman because self-esteem should be worked on no matter what stage you in life, and even the younger or the older, because a lot of women on YouTube have been pushing hypergamy. So a lot of girls just think because of their youth, they're just high sexual market value, and that's not even the case, because they're not where they're supposed to be, and I guess body weight, or not where they're supposed to be, where they're desired to be. And you've seen my video. I talked about about that. But to me, I don't know. It's hard to explain, because she was saying to accept her as she is in her natural state. But for me, in my experience, honestly, men respond. Well, I don't hit men up. Men approach me more with those 24 inches.
Wait,
Your
wait, wait. Say
microphone's
that.
off.
Wait. You muted yourself.
Microphone's
You
off.
muted yourself.
This is my opinion.
Okay.
I don't feel, y'all can agree or disagree, but I don't feel black men naturally like 4C hair unless it's long. Let's just be honest. I'm just keeping it all the way real. Not saying all black men, but majority of black men don't like 4C hair.
I hear a lot
I
of
want
women
everybody
say
to
that.
have a chance and
No, this is just my experience. This is
Yeah.
me being real, because men lie a lot and they contradict themselves. You can't say, "Oh, I want you in your natural state," but you talk to me with this weave or this wig on. You didn't talk to me with the afro. Men contradict themselves too often with that.
I talk to women with afros, but I can't speak for every man. And I know the majority of men probably do that, because I heard many women tell me this, because they're very surprised when I talk to a woman with an afro, or they're very surprised when I talk to a woman with bald. Cause I told one girl, I told the girl that was hair looked just like mine. So, maybe because I'm just unique like that. I like to see different things. I like to try different things. So that's just my personality. But because I like to see people who go outside the box. So, I think that's why traveling the world made me do that, because it made me see things outside the box. So,
well, let me ask you a quick question. When we talk about self-esteem, we hear it from the women's point of view, but you and I are athletes. You've done boxing professionally. I do amateur Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, no-gi tournaments. I know that my self-esteem has often been intrinsically linked to whether or not I got to train. I feel more, how can I put it? If I didn't go to the gym, I feel less luxurious. Like
Yeah.
I'm slightly less attractive. And I don't know if
Mm,
that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know for certain that it's definitely it definitely hits me that way. And as you've retired from boxing, has that affect? By the way, somebody is giving us a little bit of feedback. Let me go through process of elimination to see who. I think I found out who the culprit is. Do you hear feedback anymore? Uh oh.
Who is it?
Ooh. Ooh, it was you the whole time.
It was
Wait, watch
me.
this. Y'all hear me talking, right? Look at this. Oh. Do you hear any feedback now? No? Ooh.
okay. Uh,
Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, I would just say whenever you're not talking, just mute yourself. That's all. But with Ed, did you have a hit on your self esteem when you retired from boxing?
Uh, no, not really. But I also didn't retire from the lifestyle that boxing like brought to me. I mean, I let myself get up to like 17% body fat, and I was like, oh, that's no good. And so I put a lot of time and
I
energy
remember
into
that.
getting back down to 13, 14, which is like fine because I'm not training. Like to be any lower, I'd have to. I'm not willing to make those changes for my genetics to get back into where I was at for fighting. But this is the part. There are some fundamental differences, I believe, in the way that men and women gain their self esteem, and men gain we gain our self esteem by what we accomplish and what we conquer. It's
mhm,
just not gonna going to the gym and building a body and building your strength and becoming more capable of affecting the world. Yeah, that should um, correlate to your self esteem. And likewise, if you don't do anything to develop and build yourself up, yeah, you should feel like a piece of crap. I mean, you should
Oh,
feel
huge.
you should feel, or rather, you shouldn't feel your best doing nothing. Is a better way to is
yeah.
probably a better way to put it. You like if you feel like you're on top of the world and literally your day is wake up, go to work, come back, drink a beer, maybe smoke a bowl and watch Netflix. Yeah, like you there's something probably wrong. But if
Yeah.
you're busy building your body, working on your business, working on your mind. That's another thing too. When I stopped boxing, I was knees deep in online business and marketing and traveling at that point. So there were other ways for me to pull my wealth, to pull my worth from. If I had just stopped cold, and I think this is what a lot of athletes suffer with, if I had just stopped cold and had nothing to go, okay, who am I? Yeah, that'd be a problem. But at this point, I had graduated and had served and was teaching on one angle and then building and writing books on another. There were so many places to gather that self worth, but it came from somewhere. It didn't just. It's certainly not just. I can't just wake up and declare myself and be like, oh, I'm the man and feel like the man. Like no, like that for men that will never work. If for any other reason, then other men won't take you seriously.
Right.
And unless you're a pretty boy or something like that, you just naturally come out the womb with that jawline. Women won't take you seriously either. They won't take you serious regardless, or at least they won't pay attention to you. But
Mhm,
but in terms of like you being a serious man they can respect, that you won't have any luck there.
Well, get this, right? When you talk about how women and men look at you in masculinity and getting in shape and all that, I have had an experience that has given me a little bit more insight to women. I'm not claiming to understand completely. I'm telling you, two ladies, I got a little bit of understanding about how much worse it must be for you dealing with your hair, just learning mustache, keeping it hydrated, keeping it oiled. If I don't, it'll dry up, it'll break off on the ends if I don't moisturize it every day. If I don't have it brushed, it'll get tangled up. Raining Woman is drinking coffee on the side of the camera. Whenever y'all see Raining Woman drinking coffee on the side of the camera, point it out because she doesn't like people to see her drink her coffee.
It's funny now because you pointed out before. I would have never noticed, and
yeah, I
now
never noticed either. Okay.
But get
Uh,
this, I have had people tell me, women tell me on a completely, I'm not trying to like seduce you, kind of passive aggressively trying to seduce me. Like I always like to make sure, especially if I'm going to go on YouTube, I go to my barber, I make sure my lines are done, blah blah blah. But I call it the Cyclops and Wolverine effect. Is everybody here familiar with Cyclops and Wolverine?
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I am, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Now here's what I'm going to go to with this. Some women fetishize Cyclops, but some women fetishize Wolverine, and I have actually had women say, "Oh, I like it when it's kind of grimy like that." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, that was a slightly inappropriate comment because we don't have that kind of relationship." But I've had women say that, like on those days when it's just kind of grown out on the bottom and it's kind of scrunchy on the sides. I have had women say that to me.
I wouldn't say that to me too. I mean, I think
Wolverine.
you know some people just I think this is the thing with the Cyclops Ruby. Some people likes the bad guy because the bad guy is very daring. He's very he'll just go out and do it without thinking. And I think some people want that quality in life because they feel like sometimes they put themselves in a box. And this is why I think the
Right.
two between Cyclops and Wolverine. Cyclops was a very structured man. He wanted everything to fall in order, and whereas Wolverine was just like, I'm gonna go out and do it, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and I think this is the reason why it made those two characters, people related to X-Men because we all related to those two type of men. Like we always had one person that was a Cyclops, like, oh, we need to do everything structured, this, that, and that. Then we always had that one cousin that was like Wolverine that'd be like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just kick in the door and see what happens. But see, here's the thing a lot of people don't understand. You have to be completely confident in your skill set. Do you remember Train Spotting? Do you remember the movie Train Spotting?
Yeah. No, I don't remember that movie.
Now, here's something that somebody had to make context for me because in the United States, people have guns. One of the things that the guy said about Francis Begbie, the bad guy in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Francis didn't care what he said or did because no matter what happened, he could punch his way out. He was so good with his hands that he could talk and he was a terrible person. But they were kind of envious of the fact that he knew for certain there was no problem his mouth could get him into that his right hand couldn't get him out of because they've seen him do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny about that? I was having a discussion. I don't even remember what I said on Twitter, but it was something to the effect of when you've seen violence and you've experienced it, you're kind of polite and you know your way around people and you really try to avoid it. And there were a bunch of people arguing like, "Nah, man, I know people all the time that just mouth off and fight." And I'm like, and then I couldn't figure out because there was enough of people saying this. Where I was like, okay, what am I missing? Oh, they're all in the UK. It's not over here in America where you never know where somebody can be holding a cannon and they don't care about going to jail.
Yeah. It's
or
interesting.
more like they won't get caught.
Yeah, or that.
Because I mean, this is why I say like through traveling, I know it's different people's lifestyle. Because like in the UK and a lot of parts of the world, they're not allowed to carry guns.
Right. Wait, before we go too deep in the hole,
okay.
Nikki, when you came out from behind your circle, I always want to be clear. We're friends, so you can jump in. I don't know if you went live because you had something to say, but we're all friends here, so you can jump in at any time. I just didn't know if
I don't want to cut anybody off. I don't want to cut anybody off.
Exactly. No, you got to cut some people off. Like we get going. We're still friends, but you might have to cut some people off.
Yeah, sometimes us men, we just keep going. That's when you just got to put down the hammer and say, "Look, I need to talk." So
there you go.
It's
here's the thing:
it's just me. It's not Nikki. It's not Nikki. It's just me. Just NIQE, me.
See, just like that. Do it just like that.
But because I'm kind of lost because we're jumping from like, what is the topic? Like, are we talking about aesthetics or?
Well, let me go back to the main topic then, and I'm gonna give you how can I put it? I'm gonna give you what we just ended up talking about, and I'm gonna give you the conversation piece. Let me see here. The last one, because we talked about 3 so far. We talked about money, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about the concept of wisdom, and we talked about the technical aspect. But here's one that I don't think enough men really learn to capitalize on because they don't get it. The last one is reputation. Yeah. One of the things I've learned is that your reputation, and I know there's no women listening to this that would ever be this way. Your reputation gets strong enough. Let me tell you something. Your reputation gets strong enough. Women show up ready to have sex with you. People know who you are, and she knows that people know who you are, and your reputation is that guy who, hey, it does, I don't mean you have to be the tough guy, but when people say, oh, him, yeah, everybody knows him. When I called him about so and so, he said he's gonna get it done in 24 hours, and it got done in 24 hours. There are so few men that are that solid that when you become known as one of them, not telling a woman this, but when you become known as one of them, my goodness, my goodness, it's really like reputation goes in a different direction. Something I've learned, and at first, normally I ask the women first, but I want to ask the guys this if they've noticed this, and then I've liked Meek and I'd like Rainy Woman to give me theirs as well. If you've ever been the leader of an organization, I've led private and public organizations since I was 16 years old. I've always been asked to be the president or vice president, not because I'm smart, but because I'm not scared to make mistakes in leadership. The instant you become the guy with the title, anywhere from 25 to 30% of the women in that group make themselves available to you. Not because you're smart or good, but just because you've got the title of the leader. So clearly, I should open my heart. My Ed,
I've got no experience being a leader in that regard, and I think it's just because of what how I've lived my life and went about things. I've really been a competitor and a damn good one. I've been a producer, and I guess stood above in terms of recognition, but in terms of leading a group, I always, I've actually got this weird little phobia about having responsibility to other people. So I try to avoid that. So I have nothing to add, positive or negative. I just don't have the experience.
okay, Kyle.
I would say yes in regards to that effect because I think that goes into status. When you're the boss, a lot of women want to be around the boss, so they want that status. So, as far as being dependable, I think that goes both men and women. Like if you're a dependable person, whether regardless of you just showing up there, you just being a person they can depend on, that they can tell you their secrets without you going back and telling everybody in the world about all their little secrets. Whether it comes down to sex, like you're dependably can give her pleasure when having sex, I think a woman will continue to keep coming back. And, I think I read a book that says reputation is key, guard it with your life. So I would
That was
say
the
both.
48 Laws of Power. It's one of the
Yeah,
greatest books ever written.
yeah. 48 Laws of Power. I got it right here. It says reputation is key, guard it with your life, which is very true as far as everything. Like, if a woman knows that you are dependable in one particular area, she will keep coming back. So, and regardless if it's money, regardless if it's sex, regardless if it's like you just being an ear for her to listen to, she will keep coming back for that one particular thing. So, and I remember a teacher told me one time before, like, once you get into a person's mind, you got everything. So, I mean, so once you get into a
Now let me
woman's
back
mind,
up for a second. But here's the thing. And by the way, I'm going to give everybody, if anybody watching
okay,
wants a
let me stop.
copy of 48 Laws of Power,
Yeah,
ask me. I'll send you a copy. It's
it's
an
a
amazing
great
book. It's
book.
one of those key books that I show people that has really helped me in my
Change your
life.
life. It will change your
Let
life.
me
Yeah.
go. It'll change your life. It'll really change your life. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm going to show you guys. See this one? It's so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life.
Mhm.
This is probably one of the most important laws that they talk about. I'm not going to go into the book here. I'm going to have to do another discussion about the book, but I just want everybody to see that one.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me back up for a second. Uh oh. Okay. She's actually working, so we have to let her go. Raining. Testing. Can you hear me?
If mic is off.
You got to unmute yourself.
Okay, yes. I can hear you. Wait,
Okay.
what are you asking me now?
No, I said your thoughts on the whole a man who leads the organization.
Oh, absolutely. Women love power. Women love power. Women love power. Women love dependability. Women love consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why. Now, this is not a good thing, of course, but that's one of the reasons why ministers and pastors have women, ready work is what I'm going to call it, ready work.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons when it comes to positions on jobs where there might be some kind of risk or some kind of threat against someone's safety. That's one of the reasons. For instance, I used to work in a prison, so and even in the military, though it's not supposed to happen, but that's one of the reasons why women will be more readily available and accessible, even at the risk of ruining their relationships and their marriages by getting involved with higher ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Um,
Oh
but
wait, stop the show. Hold on, hold on. Shout out to the short man, Miss Coconut Conjurer. She likes short guys. Listen, I'm objectively short at 5'6". I'm not in the market, but I want to tell all those guys that are not 6 feet tall, you'd be amazed what a couple weeks in the gym will do for you lifting some heavy ass weights.
Facts.
Mm.
Absolute facts.
Mo, oh, listen, Mo has entered the battlefield. Brother Maurice, tell him what's up.
How everybody's doing today? My name is Mo Gregory. Always happy to get a second to chat and listen to what
Listen,
y'all guys
he
got
wrote
going on. I'm always impressed.
Listen, he wrote some bullshit on the screen. That whole nice Mo, that's some 100% bullshit. There is nothing nice about this.
I am very, very friendly. People say that all the
Listen,
time.
let me tell y'all the advantage he has over me. I don't look like a nice man. When a woman meets me, she knows I'm probably gonna do something grimy to her. He will look at you and smile that $1 million smile, and it's over. It's
If
over.
only it was so easy.
Mm, So, what's your take on what we've been talking about, Mo?
I've only picked up a little bit, but I totally understand how like those things make sense, right? Power, money, influence are absolutely attractive things for a female, and they make sense for women to absolutely either steer towards those men or find out compromises in situations where they can attain some of those things. That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. And like we realize too that like while women may give up partial of their career to do that, we don't see a lot of female CEOs that are going like insane having dudes on the side. As far as like the compromise of like center, I feel that that's like more of a man's problem. Man will throw down everything for some good, and then be like, oh, I lost all my stuff. No shit.
Yeah.
Women will be like embarrassed by it, but at the same time won't end their career. So I think that women often make the smarter choice when it comes to like
Wait. Say that
running
again.
and catching power.
Wait. Say that again.
I
He
think
said,
women often
They're
make.
embarrassed by it.
No, I say like a woman may be embarrassed by the outcome of it, like, oh no, she cheats and stuff now. You may get some social shame, but the people losing their jobs and like saying goodbye to half their stuff are generally guys.
yeah, I would agree.
Mm.
I would
I've
definitely
never
agree
had
on
a
that.
I've never had a female friend call me like, Mo, you won't believe what happened. This dude on the street had them jogging pants on. I lost all my stuff in a divorce. Nah, that's a dude thing.
That's
I
because
mean,
I
I
don't
know when.
feel like women aren't sexually motivated like men are. Men, you guys are like sexually motivated, so women don't operate. We don't operate that way.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
agree with
No,
you.
need.
you're right.
That's
We don't operate that way at all. It's a lot of women who are trying to do that, but they're not built for that. They ain't about that life.
Yeah, they're not. And I met some women that did do that, but like you said, like what Mo said, after they do it, they're very embarrassed. Whereas a man, he's not embarrassed. He's like, oh, I did it. Oh well. Let me just
Well, I
go on
don't
by
think
my
it's
life.
so
And
much
it's
as
just like,
embarrassed. I think it's just the
I
public
don't.
that comes with it.
Yeah,
It's what causes it. Because initially, when they're doing whatever they're doing, they're not embarrassed. It's just the public backlash that we usually do towards women that's what it's going to cause, because we don't have that same reaction with men. It'll never happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We don't really hold y'all to a higher standard. Like it's never
Yeah,
gonna
no, we
happen.
don't. I would say this: men are very held at a very low standard when it comes to stuff
Well,
like
well, here's the
this.
thing. One of
We
the things
expect men to
that
be trash. Like,
if we're
no,
going to talk,
honestly,
Yes,
women.
we do.
if
I would
we're going to talk
wholeheartedly
about
agree
those
with her on
four
that.
ways, if we're going to talk about those 4 ways that men pay for sex, remember we came up with that stuff because one of the things that we often forget is that our prime motivator when we build cars, build a fire, learn how to domesticate an animal, build a computer is because how can I get access to cute young women for sex? That's our primary motivator, whether we discuss it openly or not.
Well, and it's funny. I just think society accepted a man acting a fool. So I think society has accepted it so much from men that when we act a fool, it's not seen as bad. Because just like when I look at a lot of these shows, it's normally the man acting a fool. He's sleeping with multiple different women, risking his career, and it's seen as okay. That's what men do.
Uh,
And but if a woman does that, it's like, well, she's a hoe. She shouldn't be doing that.
Well,
And
like, look how I was gonna say, like, when we look at like how society is, it wasn't just made that way, right? Like, society is made by men on purpose because
yeah,
there's certain activities that we want to make okay. That's why there's like the word player. That's why there's like that's a person that most men want to be like. But we try
hmm
and tamp down on women doing that activity because it doesn't it doesn't forward goals in a men's society that we find valuable.
yeah, it doesn't allow us to have
Because
control. It doesn't
society's a
allow us.
construct.
With
Yeah,
y'all, men don't make society. Women, as women, we are the influencers. Most men who have these thoughts, they came from women first. Y'all didn't have these original thoughts. Women put this in your head. Women are the constant. Honestly, women are
I
their
want to
own
be
demand.
clear. I
Men,
want to be clear first. Neek, can you tell me when you say these thoughts, what are you saying?
the she. Hold on.
Okay, because I want to be clear. When she comes back, I want to be clear about what she's saying. That way, we don't miss or I don't misinterpret my answer. And for the record, for everybody watching, I'm glad that everybody is enjoying what we're talking about. I don't make any money off YouTube. I don't make any money off Google. Let me tell you people what I do so that if you need someone who needs my skill set, I'm an editor. I'm a writer. I edit books for people. I write resumes. Anything having to do with
Very good
something
at
that
it
needs to be
too.
presented at university level. Say that again, Ed.
I say you're very good too. And
Thank you. Ed is a satisfied client and customer because I've done some of his books. And if anybody wants to catch up with me professionally or look at my professional qualifications or accolades, catch me on LinkedIn. And I'd really appreciate not necessarily that you look at it and say, this is what I need. But one of the things I want everybody watching is make sure you click the whole subscribe and bell, but share this somewhere. Share this in one place. Share it on your Instagram or your Twitter or your Facebook. Share it and you can tag me in the post. Share it on your Tinder profile. Put on your Tinder profile, say, listen, if we can't have a conversation at least this good, I can't talk to you. So let me back out. Hey,
but
hey, let them know,
no,
let them know. So here's what. Let me back up for a second. Now I want you to tell me when you said that women put this in our heads. What do you mean?
well, because if you're speaking, this isn't a man's society. Men built society, but you're not the influencers. Women are influencers. We, you can disagree, but women are
Do you mean
influencers.
motivators? Do you mean motivators?
Influencers. Men don't have that. No, women are influencers. Everything that we
Hmm.
have going are especially black women. I'm specifically talking about us as black women. We are the influencers.
When you say
Majority of
influencer, what do you mean?
because we have the power to affect how people think on a larger scale.
Hmm. I'm just getting confused. I'm getting kind of lost here. Ed, are you picking up on this? Can you help decipher this? Because I'm not quite sure.
um, So I'll do my best. I guess I don't know. So I think what she's saying is that women motivate men and men take action. Uh,
Is that a
I,
reasonable statement?
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
yeah,
But when I said the word motivated was wrong.
No. I'm saying motivated, but I'm saying the influence because he said, okay, well, when women do certain things, she's deemed a whore or a hoe, whatever you want to call it. Women put that in young boys' head at a very early age. Mothers teach this to their sons.
oh
Like,
yeah, and
mothers
here's
teach
what
this
I'm
No,
to
saying.
their
I
no.
agree. I agree with what
I
she's saying.
can't
I
fully agree, but
I
some
think
Hold
mothers
on,
I do.
Maurice.
I
Maurice,
think what
step
she's
back.
You don't believe mothers
Let me
teach
back
that
up for a
to their
second.
sons? You've never heard a black
Mo,
mother tell her son, young girl, watch out because she's fast? You never heard that statement
Oh no,
before?
I heard that
oh,
statement
that's what you
before.
mean.
That's
Okay,
what
I
you mean.
was
I
wrong
thought
in
you
what I
meant
thought you were
like
saying.
But
But
mothers
Mo,
teach their
I
sons how
wanted
to
you
be
to kill.
hoes. Wow. Okay.
but as soon as
Okay.
but as soon as your mom said that, wasn't that the first girl you wanted to talk to?
Exactly.
How?
Exactly.
What does that mean? Now I'm curious. I would say that a lot of female shaming causes some societal things, but it's just those that female shaming is more of reinforcement of like male dominated ideas in a society. I don't think that women. I think women influence a lot of things, but the course of society and how sexual interaction works, I would say women don't influence that. I think that we're coming at a time with like a rise maybe in feminism where there's a reckoning between those two ideas, but I would say it's definitely not a 50-50 split, and women definitely don't control it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to push for like healthy sexual kind of experiences. Women wouldn't have to keep pushing for those if they already created this society, which they haven't. I don't think it's right. I'm just saying how it is.
No, I don't think from that aspect
Mm.
women are controlling it, but I'm saying like the shaming because to me women are naturally competitive. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be females shaming other females. Like I don't care what you say. Women are competitive. I'm a woman.
I
Women are competitive and
I
catty.
want. This is why I agree with you before, and I agree with you now. Most female or most slut shaming and all that. The biggest misogynists are other women, and
Hmm.
all you and if you don't know that's like
Yeah.
Exactly.
dudes. I've never heard even the grimiest dudes don't sit around going, you know what? Fuck her because she's this, that, and the other, and be like, yeah, bro, she's no. It's never that.
No.
It's always, if anything, we're just trying to scheme on how to take advantage of her loose moral character, and but women on the other hand, it is
They'll
very
slut
much
shame with the quickness.
yeah,
Women
They'll
attack other women for filth just for sport. I've seen it and
Wait,
everything.
wait, 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 wait,
I've
wait. Say
not.
that again. They
Uh,
what for sport?
they'll trash other women for sport.
yeah,
Oh,
And I see women do this more than way because most men they don't care if the woman's a slut. They'll
yeah.
actually
No,
capitalize off it. They'll capitalize off it. They'll be like, "Oh, she a slut? Where's she at? So I can go get it." So that's just how
am I the
men
only
are.
guy? Now hold on a sec. Am I the only guy that likes slutty girls sometimes? I mean, I'm fortunate. I've never been looking
I
for a
think that
mother of my children, but I always like women that like to cook, eat, fucking make money. I mean, I don't necessarily, I don't
the
need her to be an angel or pretend to have ever been one. We can go out and I mean,
to be honest
y'all
with you,
go,
I think the majority of men like slutty women. I think the majority of men do, and they don't want to
Yeah,
it
open up
depends on what.
to it.
men
It
definitely
depends
love.
of
on
course
Men
what
they
you
love.
do.
need
It
Men
just
love
depends on
to.
what you need them for. Look, man,
Yeah,
I like
at that time.
not everything is for all times. It just is what it is,
yeah,
I have
Like
had great long-term relationships with women of questionable ethical sexual character who are great for me, great for my business, great for my pocketbook, and a lot of fun to go hang out with.
yeah. But
yeah,
Yep.
I think
I, I mean, to be honest with you,
Watt
I
said
think
some people can say no to Ratchet, but Watt can't.
right.
But here's the thing, no, it's not that I,
and I see this so many times, especially with professional men, like these corporate
it's
men.
not. Remember,
I
it's
see them.
not that I look for ratchet. I'm just saying I don't want ratchet women. You're missing the point because you're trying to conflate two issues: a woman that's ratchet, ghetto, and hood, which I totally avoid, with a woman who is like, "Hey, I like sex. I like various kinds of sex. I like kink. Let's get down."
Right,
Those
and
women, I'm never. Exactly.
I think I was just trying to quote Juicy J, really.
Yeah.
None of you have ever seen me. None of you have ever seen me with a woman that I couldn't feel comfortable putting in a dress and going to any political event with. What we do
Right.
separately is separately, but I'm not looking for ratchet women. I'm looking for women who just like the same stuff I like. I don't
Yeah.
expect any
Well, that's
one
because
woman to be,
sometimes you want a transactional relationship.
huh?
That's because
What'd you
sometimes
say?
you want a transactional relationship. That's why, like, some men that have a lot of money and power would be like, why are they paying for sex? Because they need something transactional that has a certain cause, effect, and conclusion.
Well, let me back up then. As we make that circle back, I want to know: am I with everybody on that there are four ways that men pay for sex? The easiest being, of course, the money aspect, but your reputation, your ability to give her wisdom, your ability to give her knowledge, and who you are to other
Yeah.
people. Ways to pay for sex that are not cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
I would agree with that, and I'll probably say the most effective way is the knowledge and the wisdom because you got into a woman's mind.
Mm,
I mean, I always say this to people. I like once you get in their mind, and this is a man or a woman, you got them completely. You can control them. You can manipulate them the way you want once you get in their minds. So,
mm,
this goes for women too. Like if you get into a man's mind, you could have this man literally go across the world for you
yeah.
and literally pay for everything for you. Cause I have seen men literally, this one woman got into a woman's mind, got into this man's mind, and he literally paid for her to come all the way from the other side of the world to come to him. So if you get into a
Well, let
person's
me do this.
mind, you got him. But
I want to do this
I
as
have to
we
go.
wrap it up. I'm gonna
Wait,
let
wait,
hold on. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna give Reading Woman the first, and then we're gonna go back out in order, and then we're gonna give Neat the last word as on the way out. So, Reigning Woman, give it to us.
well, first, I would like for Eli, if that was possible, to repeat what he just said because that is so true. Like, okay, for myself, I can honestly say that when the sisters are out here talking about black men don't protect the black woman, black men don't do this, whatever, I'm like, that's not my story. So I get flack sometimes because I don't share the same story that they do because of the way that I carry myself, the respect, that I have and that I give just in general to the black man in general. So men still open my doors. Men do great things, and I can have someone to come and do repair something in my house that's not for free at a much discounted rate because of the simple fact that I garner them and I treat them with respect. I'm not putting them down, and I know how to have great conversation, communication. And I don't look at things as always, what can I get from somebody? It's also what can I give, what can I bring to you? So I want to definitely watch. You're going to get so much fat from this thing having me over here. but but also, in my final words, I want to acknowledge in my fellow servicemen and veterans for your service. Thank you. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and connect with YusefWateef. And you can find me over at Rainy Woman channel. There you go. Thank you.
Mo, you're up next.
I feel like okay. I like the ideas about how like different groups influence certain things and like sexual interaction. I think that one thing that men mostly miss is that the idea that love and attraction is not something that's a choice. And if you like, often men get frustrated with like those relationships with women sometimes because they have a logical way of looking at something, and that is not how attraction works in a logical way. It's the same way that like I guess society is influenced. It's not always a logical way which society rolls out. I found that to be true with just people I've dated in my life experiences in that way. That's all I really had to say on like the topic. I totally agree that being able to understand or working the confines of someone's attraction, which is their mind, is exactly how you build like those deeper relationships. And why like often relationships based on transactional means like I buy her nice stuff, I take her to nice dinner are not relationships that have depth to them, because that attraction has to be a meaningful thing and a way that encourages someone to want to be with you, as opposed to just a I have money, I give you money, you give me things, which is how no one really wants to be dealt with. That's for like when you buy a
That's a
car,
hooker.
not how you. Yeah, that's a hooker basically. It has a specific way to start the interaction, the specific way for that interaction to end, because it's on a shortened time frame. And so I think that's what a lot of men miss when they're like, I don't understand why she's doing this. I don't understand why she's not being
into her mind.
Well, the thing, because you never got into her mind, you just got into a transactional means of working through. Thank you very, very much for always having me on. I love your thoughts and your conversation, so I was only able to catch the end of this one. Nice chatting with y'all. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it too.
Kyle.
As far as like I mentioned before, like the most powerful tool of attraction is the mind. If you don't get into the person's mind, you're not going to get them. And this is why normally when I date somebody, if I find that we have no mental connection, I just normally give up, because I say, you know what? We ain't gonna go nowhere. I can tell you over here, I'm over here. We're not gonna go nowhere. So, and that's why I normally tell all men, like, if you didn't get in her mind, if she does not have respect for you, if she doesn't think you're smarter than her in any type of way, she will not do anything with you. She will quickly run to the next guy. Especially if you just get into a transaction relationship of just paying for dinner and stuff. She could get that from anybody. Let's be real. She could get that from anybody. So, I mean, this is what I have learned growing up. Like, once, if I sit down with you and I feel like the conversation is going nowhere, I am going to assume that we are just not going to link up or do anything. And, I'm just going to pretty much say, all right, we pretty much a friend zone at this point, because we're not, we're not, we at the dinner table, we looking at each other, we putting up signs. That's not going to work. So, I mean, that's what I learned over the years, that if you did, I'm gonna finish.
I'm listening to him.
Okay, but that's what I learned over the years. You have to get in their minds. If you don't get in their minds in some type of way, she ain't gonna be there. She ain't gonna be there for long.
Yeah, that's the truth, man.
She ain't gonna be there for long. So that's just my opinion. More people may agree, may not agree, but because trust me, I have seen some broke guys with no money get plenty of women. One of them is a few family members I met. They literally had no money, but they had women all over the place. I met rich guys that can't get no women. So I'm like, it's that mind. You need to get up in their mind. So,
being good at one thing doesn't mean you're good at other things. Being good at business doesn't mean you can conquer women.
Yeah,
if that's your goal.
Trust me, I have seen it. I have seen literally broke guys. I'm like, how you got a woman every week and they paying for your stuff? But then I see the rich guy can't get a woman. So it's the mind. You need to get it. All right, I'm finished.
Brother Ed.
Closing thoughts, man. Everything comes back to respect for me. I think if a man makes himself and someone to be respected, then a lot of the job, a lot of the work is done. And you can be respected in any number of ways, man. You just, how you handle your life and your business, how you take care of your body, and how people look at you, and whether you a scoundrel and you're gonna be like that guy that's out there partying, living in the street, screwing people over. Yeah, man, if you can be about that life, be about that life, but be prepared for what's going to come with that. But if you want to go the other route and build yourself up into somebody that's be respectable and make a life. And if you do that and just do your lane, really focus on the lifestyle you're trying to build, you're gonna. I mean, it's really crazy. I'm a guy. I've been in a long-term relationship now for 7 years, and all I've done is build myself up and build myself up. And I'm busy.
I had to go.
Oh,
all right.
And I gotta fend off people hopping in my inbox and nonsense. That's how powerful it is. All you gotta do is make yourself into somebody worthwhile, and that's the best currency you can spend is respectability. But I got to take off too and get ready for a call in 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take off. But thank you for having me, Wad. Always a
All
pleasure.
right, man. See
All
you
right.
soon.
I gotta take off.
See you.
All right.
I gotta take off as well. Nice chatting with you. I'm sorry I didn't get to
All
hear
right.
your thoughts, Neek. Nothing personal. Have a good one, y'all. Take care.
Neek, give it to us.
Ooh, we're close up. No, I agree with everybody. It does start with the mind, because I'm a sapiosexual too. So, mental attraction is everything for me. But it also, a man has to have charisma and charm too. It's not just about, because you can have an intellectual smart man, but he can be dry as hell. No woman wants to be with a man like that. Be able to hold a conversation, be able to have some type of warmth to you and depth. And just because you know a lot of things does not make you deep. You know what I mean? Just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. But and two, it's like I agree with people being accepted as they are. But like you stated before, it's a certain standard when you're being with a certain person that you can't just be bare minimum or mediocre. You do have to do certain things to, be in that person's life depending on what their status is. And as far as like women do find men attractive when they have power, status, and money and those type of things. But me, a woman like me, I don't really like all that. I like a man that's more low key. Everybody does not know him. I don't want everybody to know my man. Yes, he's respected amongst his peers and people who know him, and he's a very solid individual, but he does not have to be in the spotlight. That is not something I'm attracted to.
Well, listen, I want to say thank you to everybody watching, and I ask everybody, please make sure you click the subscribe and the bell, and share this somewhere. Share it on your profiles or your Facebooks or your Instagram. I'm always glad to have interesting people come up here. We Rainy, I feel like I'm YouTube stalking you. Look at that. But yeah, everybody, I want you to make sure that you click the like and subscribe and the bell and all that. But more importantly, leave comments. I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody. And I want to say thank you all so much for having such a great conversation with me.
Thank
I
you for
want
inviting me.
no problem. Do you do this on your channel?
Huh?
Do you do this on your channel?
Yeah. Do I do this?
Yeah.
Like live chat?
Yeah.
I don't do live chat. No,
You
not yet.
should. You
I
should.
don't have a panel of people.
Of course you do. You got us. I
Yeah,
will get
you
everybody that was here today.
You guys will come on my channel?
Absolutely, we
I'll
will.
come over to your channel.
I will
Okay.
talk shit on your channel just like it was mine.
One of these Fridays, I'm willing to do a live chat on my channel.
Oh,
Like,
flattery will get you everything. T. Kelly, flattery gets you everything. My ego. Look at that. Read that. Read that. Ah!
you are so beautiful, Nikki. I want to tell you, your smile is so beautiful. I love your full cheeks. You are beautiful, and you would do just fine with your natural hair.
All right. Well, listen, I got to go, everybody. I want everybody to have a great
Thank you
day.
so much.
Thank you all so much. I hope everybody has a great night. Goodbye.
Bye bye.